Hi everyone, today I will be sharing with you some K-pop truths, and to be specific, I'm gonna talk about some truths that K-pop stans are too afraid to admit. There are a lot of things that stans will always deny in order to protect themselves and their faves, and they will never admit these kind of things no matter what. Now let's start and see what these truths are. Every group is great until they become a threat to your faves. You surely know what I'm talking about. Let's say there's this new group debuting and everyone seems to be very interested and wanting to stan them. Then time goes by and this group becomes more and more successful and suddenly so many people turn their back on them. The truth is, we like seeing groups being successful, but we don't like seeing them being more successful than our faves. The moment this happens and a group surpasses out faves' achievements, then they become a threat and we start hating on them. Being talented doesn't make you qualified for being a soloist. There are so many talented idols out there, but just because someone might be an all-rounder, someone who is strong in every aspect, it still doesn't mean they would be great soloists. The thing with soloists is that they have to have something that makes you keep the attention on them. They have to fill the stage on their own and have a certain quality that you wouldn't need if you were in a group. When you are in a group, there will always be something or someone else that can keep the fans watching even if you don't have the best stage presence. But when you're on your own, then it's all on you. It's kinda ridiculous when fans expect to see an idol getting a solo debut just because they are skilled. Not everyone is qualified to be a soloist, and that's okay. You don't know what idols want. K-pop stans are always speaking for their idols as if they knew what their faves wanted. It is not your place to say if an idol really wants to have more lines or not. Some idols might not be confident in their skills and might want to sing less compared to their group mates. Some idols that you are begging to see debuting as soloists might not want that. They might prefer being in a group and having members around, or they might simply not want to have to do things on their own. Or another example could be with project groups. For example, produce groups. Everyone begged for the company to extend their contracts. For example, with groups like Wanna One or IZ*ONE. But how do you know that every member wants to continue with that group? Some members might want to move on to something different in the future. That's why after produce groups disband, a lot of members become actors or maybe become soloists because that's what they had always wanted to do, and they wouldn't have wanted to continue with the group. I think we have to stop speaking in behalf of our idols because we know nothing about what they want. Some of your faves use ads to get views, and that's okay. I've lost count of how many times I clicked on a YouTube video and a song popped up. It happens so many times, and it's annoying when some stans get so defensive when someone points it out. There's no such thing as organic views. Most of them come from mass streaming, and we all know. So how is using ads a crime? Like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's ridiculous for some people to get so defensive over this topic. You don't have to closely follow groups to call yourself a stan. In the beginning I thought you needed to do so, because other stans made me feel like I had to. But I've learned that it's not necessary at all. If you like the music, you can call yourself a stan even if you don't watch any content from the group. And even if you really like the members as well but you just don't really keep up with them that much, you can still call yourself a stan. Also, you don't need to buy albums and merch. We all have our ultimate groups that we put before everyone else and we buy their stuff. So it's crazy thinking we could possibly buy albums from every single group on our stan list. So moral of the story, you don't have to follow someone closely in order to stan them. You are afraid of admitting you were wrong. This can apply to misjudging someone because of some rumors and then finding out that person was actually not bad like some haters made it out to be. But it can also apply to scandals. Sometimes we are convinced of someone's innocence and we can never admit we were wrong when that person is proved to be guilty, or vice versa. We were sure someone was guilty and then it turns out they were not. But instead of giving them an apology, we are just afraid of admitting we were wrong. This is kinda sad because there are a lot of idols that deserve a big apology, but they're still getting hate to this day just because some people will never admit they misjudged them. Talking about idols' bodies only makes it harder for them and you're not helping them. Talking about how much weight someone has lost lately on social media is only gonna make stuff worse for them. Even if you have good intentions and you think you're helping them, I don't see how some random stans talking about this online could help though. People that are close to that idol, such as family members, group members and the managers, most likely know about a possible eating disorder already because they see the idol every day and will surely notice their weight loss. So if anything, they are the ones that can help, not you posting random stuff on Twitter, bestie. The only thing that will happen is that idol might see everything and feel even worse about their body. The same goes for idols who gain weight. You might think you're doing the right thing when you say stuff like, "Oh, this idol is gaining weight. They look so cute." I know maybe you meant well, but I'm not sure how good it is pointing out the fact that someone is gaining weight. I don't know, but you might just make them uncomfortable and make them feel self-conscious. If there are problems with an idol's weight, the only ones that can actually do something are people close to them, not you. Some idols get rapping positions because they can't sing. I think everyone knows this happens, but not many people are ready to admit it. Some idols only have rapping positions because their singing skills are pretty mediocre. Some of them are at least good dancers, but others really have no outstanding talent and are just there as filler members. This isn't really a problem. That's how the industry works. Not every member in a group has to hold a main or lead position. It's okay if someone is in the group just to be the one who is good at variety or something like that. But please let's not deny that some of those members with only rap positions are pretty mediocre singers. You all need to stop with your absurd conspiracy theories. No, the Jennie and V dating rumors weren't made up by hype to cover up for the Garam scandal. There is no way they would put V in such an unpleasant situation to defend a rookie that they clearly didn't have any problem in completely abandoning in the end. And no, New Jeans' debut wasn't an attempt to divert the attention from Garam leaving the group. New Jeans were supposed to debut years ago and it was just a matter of time before they actually started promoting. It wasn't because of Garam. And no, aespa didn't debut to cover up Irene's scandal. It had been 5 years since SM debuted a girl group and it was about time for a new one to debut. The fact that they debuted around the time Irene had a scandal was just a coincidence. Companies can definitely do certain things to cover up some scandals, but some of you are taking it too far. So much that every time something happens you will find a way to link it to something else. K-pop fans are the biggest conspiracy theorists, I swear to God. You don't know the difference between favoritism and a member simply being more popular than the others. Actually, maybe you know, but you just don't want to admit it so that you can have an excuse to hate on the members you don't like, accusing them of being privileged. Some members are just more popular than the others and the company capitalizes on their popularity, for example by making them get the most center time and things like that. But favoritism is another thing. Favoritism is, for example, treating the other members as backup dancers and giving all of the lines to only one person. One example could be Everglow. Things improved drastically since the debut, but we cannot deny that the company has a clear preference for Mia. Another example is Luna, where only half of the group gets decent treatment. We can see other blatant examples of favoritism in most of the post-IOI groups, such as Dia, where everything revolved around Cheon, or Gugudan, where Sejong was the main character and everybody else came second, and even Wiki Miki, where things have improved so much. But in the beginning they used to be Yoojong, Doyeon and friends. These are instances of the company not giving lines, screen time and opportunities to the other members, and this is clearly not the members' fault. Then there are groups like aespa with Karina, TXT with Yeonjun, Billy with Chuki, and IVE with Wonyoung, where one member just happens to be more popular than the others, but we cannot call that favoritism because it's not favoritism, and you all have to learn the goddamn difference. Some of you aren't mature enough to stand temporary groups. It's pretty simple. Temporary groups are temporary. You should know what you're getting yourself into when you decide to stan. You know fully well they are gonna disband one day, and I get being sad when that day comes, but it's so annoying how some stans keep on screaming and crying while begging the group to become permanent. That's not gonna happen, even if the groups are super successful. It's so annoying when fans do that because some of them take it too far and will always bring up the fact that they missed that group even when all of the members re-debut in new groups or as soloists. Like for example, there were a few people that wanted to take their Eyes One Light Sticks to an IVE concert. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's so disrespectful to the new members and to Yoojin and Wonyoung as well. I can't believe some people wanted to do it. Like, please move on, know your boundaries and stop being annoying. We often initially get interested in idols because of their visuals, and that's okay, besties. That's okay. We cannot know everyone's personality and talent straight away. When we first see a group, we know nothing about the members. The first thing we see are the visuals, and maybe we get caught up in an idol because they are particularly pretty. It's only after we get to know them that we can fall for their personality and appreciate their talents. But in the beginning we may get interested because of their visuals, and this is perfectly fine. If the only reason you keep standing someone is because they are good looking, then that's not really okay and it's pretty damn superficial. But if you come for the visuals and stay for everything else, that's okay, and there's no need to deny that. Okay, these were some K-pop truths that K-pop stans are afraid of admitting. Maybe you've also been afraid of admitting some of these things. As K-pop stans, we've all been there at least once, and that's fine. It happens. What's important is realizing we were wrong. Let me know your opinions in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye guys.